Hey, welcome back to iAllegedly. We've got breaking news right now. And Nicolás Maduro, the former president of Venezuela, was captured by the U.S. military last night in a raid that was basically 2 o'clock in the morning in Venezuela. The U.S. troops went in with the elite forces, like Delta Force, and went in and extricated him beautifully. No American soldiers were hurt. Nobody, we didn't lose any equipment. It was absolutely amazing. But it's funny, I came home from a date last night and it was late, about 1:30 in the morning, and I flipped on the news for a little bit, said goodnight to Rosie, and then couldn't go to sleep because of this breaking news story. And I started texting the people that I knew would be up on the East Coast and to tell them, wow, we got Maduro. Maduro's in custody right now. Now, okay, there was an election a few years ago, and Maduro basically declared himself president of Venezuela, and they say that there was many questions about the election in Venezuela and that he did not properly win. That being said, in 2020, the United States of America issued a warrant, basically an arrest warrant for him, and he scuffed it off. The Biden administration, didn't do anything to capture him, but this is huge, huge, huge news for a lot of reasons because there are companies that work out of Venezuela and that were built by the United States and oil companies, Chevron, companies like that that worked there that helped develop their infrastructure for getting oil refining, and basically they just took it over. Now, this is huge news because he had an arrest warrant for drug trafficking, and they got him, and they picked him up, and it is shocking how well that this went. Now, here's the thing about this. We knew that there was an arrest warrant for this guy, and he just blew it off. He kept feeling he was protected by China, he was protected by other nations that were dependent upon him, and that there was really nothing the United States could do for him, and they found out about this. Now, without telling other people, other countries, other foreign leaders that we were going to do this, one thing that was interesting over the course of the last 10 days is that Russian diplomats and their families were told to leave Venezuela. So did they know something in advance? They put all the ships in the harbor, and we saw what could have happened, and there was some bombings earlier. But when it started last night, we were just thinking, okay, this is just the beginning of this thing, and no big deal. And then people went to bed, but they had no idea that they were going to extricate the president of Venezuela and bring him up on charges here. Now, why is this significant? For a few reasons. Because, first of all, communist Cuba relies heavily. All their oil basically comes from Venezuela. You think we're going to be shipping any oil or gasoline to Cuba right now? They have a huge problem right now. I worked for a man 12 years ago who grew up in Cuba until he was 6, and his father got him out of the country prior to the overthrow of the government. And I heard so many stories from him about how dangerous it was, and about how after Cuba was taken over, you couldn't get rice, you couldn't get food. It was just awful. And it was fascinating. And in fact, he was going to name he had such loyalty to Cuba, he was going to name his production company Havana Bay Productions. He got sick and got cancer and passed away, but he had a loyalty to Cuba from the old days. And what's there now? These people should be freaking out. Iran should be freaking out again because of what we did recently with eradicating their potential for nuclear, production by. So Iran right now should be freaking out. You've got Cuba that should be freaking out. Every single adversary of ours right now should be panicking. And it will be interesting to see how this is. Now, the wild thing is Maduro's wife, Cilia Flores. She had a sealed indictment too, which I'm like, wow. And you think about this, if she would have known she was under indictment, probably could have got him to leave. This guy could have left with gold, chicks, money, everything, and be living and laughing and bad mouthing the United States of America right now. But there's a line, do you want to F around and find out? And he effed around and found out. And, I got sent so many pictures last night, and I relied on the one from the U.S. military. This is actually the U.S. military's uh, image. And Maduro, has headphones on. They're soundproof. He's got eye shades on so he doesn't see where he's going. I was given a bottle of water and handcuffed. Have a nice day. It was put on the Iwo Jima, uh, one of our large vessels, and then is being shipped to the United States right now. He will be brought up on charges, but a few other things. You know, um, think about this. The Monroe Doctrine from 1823, I'm going to paraphrase this. James Monroe set it up so that don't mess around in our hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere. Don't try to colonize any of your countries over here. Just stay out of the Western Hemisphere and we will stay out of your hemisphere. Well, that's worked pretty well. My friend Evan, who's a scholar and a constitutional scholar, I mean, he's going to call and correct me on 1,000 things in this video, but the idea with it is that stay away from us. Don't harm the United States. These people that have done this, and you had Joe Biden's administration that basically didn't do anything, guys, for 4 years. These guys just thought, well, what are you doing? I saw a great story last week that all Nicolás Maduro has to do is get to March 1st of 2026. If you can get to March 1st, the United States will be so tied up in our midterm elections that we're not going to have to worry. He's not going to have to worry about anybody going after him. So that didn't work out very well for him. You're going to see that also that there was a press conference this morning, which was pretty wild, where President Trump said that they're going to run the Venezuelan government temporarily and handle the oil, and they're going to get back what's our oil. So it will be interesting to see what the oil companies, Chevron, all these other people that are over there, Shell, everybody else, Exxon, what they feel about this. It will be interesting to see how they feel about that. But, some people are already complaining about this. That was an illegal arrest. The guy had an arrest warrant. You're under if we find you, there was I think it was a $50 million bounty on this guy's head. I wonder who's going to get that. I had heard that Patrick Byrne, one of the a businessman, had put up $25 million of that. So, tensions have been bad for a long time. It will be interesting to see what happens. But, man, I'm telling you, this is wild. We got him, and I would worry. I would worry if I was one of these other countries that are having difficulties with us right now. I would not mess around right now, because it's just a matter of time until they're warned as well. And again, do you want to live like that? It's funny. During Trump's press conference, he talked about how he got no appreciation from Chicago and pulled out, but they'll come back whenever they want. It's time, guys. It's time to clean up crime globally. 1/3 of the people from Venezuela, 1/3, have left the country. Some walked out, some bailed, and just took off. Now, enough is enough, guys. But it's going to be interesting. I personally would be pissing my pants if I was one of these other adversaries of ours right now that are against us. So let me know what you think about this. Have you seen this? What do you think about it? Are you against it? Remember the new email address temporarily, iAllegedly@gmail. But man, I'm so glad I watched all this. It's been absolutely fascinating. But man, this guy really, really, really did think he was just going to be able to get away with it and not have a thing to worry about. So, bye. It will be interesting to see if he ends up in New York, Washington, D.C., or Florida. Once again, the guy is a criminal. The guy's had an arrest warrant issued. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Share your thoughts on all this stuff. I'll see you real soon.